my fellow musers, friends, and guests. Welcome to the Musing Show. I'm your host, once again, Tanya D, holistic medium, and thanks for joining me. We're going to continue with tip number 9, the brain, for living longer and healthier as well. And of all the unwanted changes in health associated with aging, one of the most devastating is actually the decline in our cognitive function. It's the one disease that's the most feared, even over cancer. It's actually Alzheimer's. And people dread the loss of independence arising from declining mental capacity, even more than they dread declining physical ability. So without question, our brains are single most greatest asset because our health and vitality actually begin in the brain, the control tower. It's responsible for directing the operations of our entire body. So it's easy to see how the health of our brain is every bit as important as the health of our heart. So all healthcare should take a head-first kind of approach, but it often is the very last place that we look, if at all sometimes, unless we find a way to grow new brain cells to replace those that are dying or that have died. We can't enjoy a long life. And factors that underlie and lead to the loss of brain tissue include oxidative stress, chronic inflammation, mitochondrial dysfunction. You can actually read about that more in the end notes. Hormone deficiency, impaired microcirculation to the brain, and even toxic protein that builds up around the brain's synapses, preventing this vital flow of our neurotransmitters. So an aggressive and comprehensive approach with a doctor who specializes in holistic healing approaches to cognitive function might give you the ability to help repair a deteriorating brain. But there's an increasing awareness of the importance of nutrition, particularly those omega-3s, polysaturated fatty acids, for optimal brain development and even function. So nutrition plays a critical role in mental health, since the brain relies on both macro and micronutrients for development and functioning. So a lack of these fatty acids has been implicated in a number of mental health conditions over a lifespan, from developmental disorders and even mental challenges in childhood to depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, stress, even hostility, and getting aggressive in adulthood and seeing this cognitive decline, dementia, Alzheimer's disease in later childhood. So these omega-3s are important components of the membranes that actually surround each cell in your body. Some, but not all, research shows that people who consume more omega-3s from food, such as fish or fish oil, flaxseed, and omega-3 dietary supplements, just might lower this risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, dementia, or other problems with that cognitive function. So there are 3 main types of omega-3 fatty acids. There's the ALA, the EPA, and the DHA. Obviously, they're longer words, but I didn't want to slaughter them in this video. But ALA is found mainly in plant oils like flaxseed, soybean, and canola. DHA and EPA are found in fish and other seafoods. But ALA is an essential fatty acid, meaning that your body can't actually manufacture it, so you have to get it from the foods and beverages that you actually consume. So your body's able to convert some ALA into this EPA and then to the DHA, but only in very limited small quantities or amounts. So getting this EPA and DHA from foods and dietary supplements is the only practical way to increase levels of these omega-3 fatty acids in your body. So DHA levels are especially high in the retinas of our eye, the brain, and even sperm cells. So omega-3s provide calories to give our bodies energy, and they have many functions for our heart, our blood vessels, our lungs, immune, and our endocrine system, which is the network of hormone-producing glands. And you'll find that walking and other forms of exercise encourage your brain to release endorphins. Endorphins are a neurochemical that boosts mental health, so decreasing your sensitivity to stress and even pain, and even sometimes induces a state of euphoria. So getting the body moving can help lower the incidence of depression and improve overall cognitive brain function. So walking releases the protein known as BDNF. And this BDNF is a protein that's essential for neuronal development and even survival and cognitive function. So impairment of this BDNF is actually associated with neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's disease. And one study actually published in January of 2018 found that walking for just 30 minutes at a moderate rate increased the production of this BDNF. So in the brains of post-stroke patients or somebody who's had a stroke, which might indicate that walking somewhat briskly could be the key to maintaining a healthy brain and even a healthy mind. So walking's been shown to clear up cognitive haze, and NPR actually reported that going for a walk, even if just briefly, can increase the size of your hippocampus. That's the region of your brain that plays a critical role in forming and storing your memories. And it's associated with those feelings that pair up with those memories. Kind of cool, actually. But walking increases blood flow to our brains. It improves creativity. And in 2014, a Stanford University study, it just found that walking increased a person's creative output by an average of 60%. So in addition to keeping the brain lubricated with essential fatty acids, nourishing the brain and body with lots of plant-based and healthy foods, exercising the body with adequate amounts and different types of exercises, we can actually directly associate exercising the brain to help it stay sharp and even bright. So different ways to do that would be to learn to play a musical instrument, learn a new language, or review or relearn algebra, or no matter what age you are actually. And researchers even found that learning to play a musical instrument can induce or enhance verbal memory, spatial reasoning, and even your literacy skills. So playing an instrument makes you use both sides of your brain, which strengthens your memory power. It's that fine motor skills that are required to actually play an instrument, stimulate activity throughout your brain, get it fired, right? Things are firing. So getting your brain used to learning moderately complicated software even on your computer. See it as a challenge, actually. You know, I do this when I do these videos. It actually took me a long time to actually kind of figure this out, but I'm still figuring it out. So it's just an endless cycle. You can even practice Tai Chi regardless of your age. And Tai Chi is actually a gentle, low-impact, ancient Chinese flowing form of a meditative kind of movement and mind-body exercise in one. It improves your balance, your strength, and even your flexibility while reducing stress and anxiety. It's even been proven that Tai Chi might promote the neuroplasticity, meaning the generation of new neurons, or they protect neurons from the normal process of this aging thing. So get meditating to strengthen this neuroplasticity of your brain. So it may even help create the growth of new connections and neurons. And there's also another study that's referenced in my endnotes below, where it actually showed alterations and patterns of our brain's function, which were scientifically assessed using functional magnetic resonating imaging, known as MRI, or fMRI, sorry. But meditation was found to have a positive impact on attention. And researchers were even able to measure just this alterations in this amplitude and synchrony of high-frequency oscillations in the brain, the frequencies and the wavelengths, indicating that meditation plays an important role in connectivity among the widespread circuitry in our brains. So even the Dalai Lama, in a recent visit to the United States, gave a speech in Washington, D.C., just saying over the past several years, he's helped recruit Tibetan Buddhist monks for and even directly encouraged research on the brain and meditation for brain imaging and behavior at the University of Madison, Wisconsin. But the findings from these studies in this unusual example, as well as related research efforts, suggested that over the course of meditating for tens of thousands of hours, these long-term practitioners had actually altered the structure and functions of their brains. And in the book, The Buddha Brain, Neuroplasticity and Meditation, like with anything, if we don't use it, we lose it. I actually have that book, but I'll put it in the end notes. So we just can't expect any muscle of our body to stay in shape without putting it through its paces, so to speak. So to stay engaged in life as we advance in age, we have a whole treasure trove of wisdom and knowledge that we should be sharing. And it's the very time that we should be contributing and sharing that knowledge rather than withdrawing from life and withering in our stature. So health and cognitive function need to keep prospering through evolution, right? So check out the end notes of this vlog for more inspiration and information. If you haven't followed me on any social media platforms, you can find me at What's Up Tanya D on Facebook. On Instagram, I'm at the Tanya D. On Twitter, I'm at Green Skinny Girl. On YouTube, I'm at Tanya D. Or just Tanya D, I should say. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I need some of that subscribing and ringing of that bell. On iTunes, you can subscribe to my podcast, Musing with Tanya D. Season 2 was all about the elements. It was actually a view from an energy perspective or a spirit of the elements. And Season 3 is all about the energy world. So visit my corridor for well-being and healing at club.tanyad.tv, where I host all the magical courses into healing and wellness in the subtle energy world and the physical world as well. I also have tanyad.tv, where I host everything all from energy-based skin and body care, plant-based nutrition from Green Skinny Girl, if you want to start transforming and eating healthier and have more vitality. I also utilize essential oils and so much more. Ashe.